What's going on with you, man?
Man, working with you, and you know, get you up on here. Been trying to get you up on here on the Maverick approach. Can everybody hear me all right? Everything's good? Somebody said sound.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So what's going on, man? What's the word, brother?
Man, we got a lot to talk about, man. Well, first, how you been? What you been working on?
I'm good, man. I'm you know, I'm grinding. I'm getting things popping at the Hidden History Museum out here. We're working on a new documentary right now. We're doing a hip hop documentary, and I'm traveling around doing that. We're getting a lot of myths and misconceptions cleared up about hip hop culture and where it really came from. So we're getting real deep with that. We just launched our deodorant line called Root Work, and that's doing phenomenal. People can go to rootworkstyle.com.
Okay.
So I'm always in the mix, man. I always got stuff going on.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I love the museum. The museum's fire, man. If y'all haven't checked it out, go check it out when y'all in LA. Like he has it popping. Like he did it right. You know, he definitely delivered for sure.
Yes.
So
I appreciate y'all coming through, man. Y'all have always, you and your brother and your sisters, y'all have always supported, and that's all love.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, man. So I mean, I started this page, Maverick Approach, and I'm starting to do my interviews and stuff. So definitely you know, surprised how fast this blew up and how all these videos are coming about. A lot of people, that's why I kind of did it, because you know, the CNNs and the Fox Newses, they ain't gonna tell you the real, you know. So that's why I do my deep dives. I do my research on a lot of stuff, and you know, it comes down to truth, because there's a lot of bullshit out there. So, you've definitely been an inspiration for sure, though. Like, you know, how you've been, you know, doing your thing for a long time, and it just kind of came about, and you know, it all came together. So definitely big ups to you and what you've been doing for sure, man. So.
Oh yeah, appreciate that, man. Most definitely.
I do want to ask you something, though. I want to jump right into it.
Yes.
The whole thing with Obama and his chef. What do you think about that? Because I saw you post on.
Yeah, look, man. You know, that's kind of weird, because the thing that's weird about that, the chef died. For those who don't know, Obama had a chef, a brother, who was in the White House with Obama. He was the chef, and then he was out there in Martha's Vineyard, and the dude was paddle boating, and then he died. Now, that's suspicious as it is, because they said the guy was a pretty decent swimmer. He's out there paddle boating, and if you paddle boat, you're going to have to know how to swim also. The water is like just 8 feet deep. That's not that deep.
Right.
You know, so that's a weird thing within itself. Now, the other thing that's weird, Hillary Clinton, her chef drowned back in 2015. Yeah. So these chefs drowning out the blue, I mean, that's a hell of a coincidence.
Right.
So the thing is, when you're somebody's chef, man, and you're in the White House, you know, they understand that you're going to hear certain things. Certain conversations are going to be had around the dinner table, so to speak.
Right.
So is somebody trying to clean up some loose ends? They don't want these chefs to go out here with anything they've heard and go over here to Russia and say, hey, I was at the dinner table and I heard Obama say something about some nuclear warheads were at Whoop-de-Whoop's house or something.
Right.
So these chefs getting knocked off, that's a very suspicious thing, man.
It is only because they're so close, and when you're preparing somebody's food, that's a very intimate thing.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? So like, you're right there hearing everything. And I heard another theory about that, and it's something that to think about. And being that he's so close, you know, Obama has daughters. So what if he got caught up messing with one of the daughters, and Obama was like, I ain't having it?
Well, hell, let's get even deep. What if he got caught messing with Obama's ass? What if there was some Bucci cat action going on with Obama? Because, you know, they've been saying Obama, you know, he swings a certain way according to some rumors. So no telling what was going on, man.
I heard that. I heard that. And that's the thing. If y'all haven't heard how they call him Michelle Obama, Mike, and all this other stuff. And
yeah, which I don't think that's cool. I don't think she's a man. People talk about she's a man. I don't think that's cool. That's like an old racist stereotype where they masculinize black. So I don't like that. But I do think Obama might have a hankering for some pussy, though. Because, you know, I don't know. I don't know.
it can be kind of tricky. I don't know. It can go both ways. But yeah, there's certain things that they throw out there, like you said, where the little trick bags and it's like, oh, our women are very masculine and all that other stuff. So little
Yeah,
stuff like that, you got to
because
watch.
they do all that with Serena Williams. The white media would do all of that. She's masked. Yeah, they do that with sisters a lot now. So we got to really watch them on that. But
Right.
yeah, but that thing with the chef, man, it is very suspicious, man. So that has to be looked into.
Yeah, because the dude, like you said, was 6'1", and the water was only like 7-8 feet deep, and they won't
Yeah.
disclose who else was out there with him, and their call logs, all the police call logs were wiped clean.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's even more suspicious. Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know about that. So it was pretty interesting to see about that, and like you said, how Hillary's chef was knocked off, and that's a whole nother thing. Hillary, like, she has a long track record of all these people around her are just one by one just getting knocked off. So, and it's kind of like after a while, people get desensitized. So it's like it's kind of weird after a while. It's like, no, you got to question that. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of weird.
Absolutely.
Same thing with how they said with the aliens, and nobody really cared when they said there was aliens, like all that stuff. Everybody,
because there's been rumors about it for so many years, and back in the 1950s, there was a famous case where this mixed race couple, it was a black man and a white woman, they were abducted, and there was some pretty credible evidence, and this was somewhere on the East Coast. So a lot of people, these abduction stories really gained traction after that. I forgot what the couple's name, but it was a black man and a white woman, and they were abducted, or they claimed they were abducted, and the media obviously thought there was some credibility to what they were saying. And these type of abductions, they've been reported for a long time. Now, some people say that maybe the government has these different types of technological advancements that they don't want to share with the public, so they create these alien myths. Or some people say that it's real, because a lot of these alien sightings are usually around some type of military facility, like the Area 51 up there in Nevada, stuff like that.
Right.
But hey, we never know, man. There is some kind of intelligent life out there. We're not the only species of intelligent life that's out here.
Right.
So there's probably some advanced stuff out there. I just hope they come down and bring ET so we can help wipe some of the white supremacists out of here. That's what I want. Give me a magic finger or a melanin gun or some shit. We can start getting the Klan and the skinheads up out of here.
Yeah, you gotta get them up out of here. Yeah. And that's the thing, like, with the whole system of white supremacy, like, you touched on that a lot. And my whole thing is this. I think that with that, to fight against it is to have education and to have financial freedom. So, they try to put a lot of things in place. That's why I teach like crypto and blockchain and how it's becoming into law now and all that stuff, because this is a ground floor thing to where, 100 years ago, we had no say so. We had no a hold in that. But now it's a whole new era to where, digital assets and everything else, we can get a foothold and get ahead of the curve as far as that. So that's why I'm huge on blockchain. That's why I have a show called Block Nation. Me and my two other co-hosts, like, we teach, financial freedom, we teach crypto, blockchain, all that stuff, because it's super important. A lot of people who look like us need to know this, and it's so important because the banks are already using it. The banks are using it. They're using, distributed ledger technology. All this stuff is already signed. Like, Biden, he signed a bill back in 2022 for digital assets on framework for the banks. So we got to get.
Now, what was that thing? What was that thing that they signed? I heard a report of the federal government. They have something now called FedCoin or something like that. Do you hear something like that?
Yes, sir. So I'm glad you
now,
asked.
what is that?
Now, so for whatever, for anybody who's not, very, savvy in that world as far as like digital currency and whatnot. So FedNow, think of it like a cash app. right? So it's like a Cash App, but it's going to be a messaging system. So a messaging system called ISO 222, which the banks are going to be sending messages to each other in real time to settle payments. So FedNow is what all the banks will be using. So you know how you deposit a check, or say if you send a wire, it takes 2-3 days, right? Or if you do international, it takes 10 days. Now it will be settled in real time because this messaging system will settle those funds in real time with crypto. So I don't know if you're familiar with XRP, but XRP just beat the SEC in court, saying that it wasn't securities, because they were trying to tie them up in court and saying that it was securities. So now that was cleared up. They beat the SEC. Now they're going to be the banking standard for all these settlements for payments. So FedNow is going to be in between that.
Now, is there a danger to the cryptocurrency, because just like fiat currency, there's nothing really backing it? You don't have the gold standard no more. So if you have crypto currency, there's what's actually backing it. What's stopping another Great Depression where all of the cryptocurrency can be wiped out with the computer crash? What's stopping that?
So a lot of people don't know, as far as XRP, it doesn't actually need internet to work. Okay. So it's a messaging system. So it's like almost like old tech. So where you actually send messages like a text message, or like, remember those chirp messages back in the day? It works just like that, but way more advanced on a higher scale. But I love that argument where people say, oh yeah, what if the internet goes out? Then your cryptocurrency ain't nothing. It's like, well, it actually doesn't need the internet. And a lot of people don't know that. This is what I mean, where you say like, knowledge is power. It sounds corny, but it's for real. You got to know how it works. As far as like other currencies, I would say 99 of all, there's over 20,000 currencies, right? So 99% of them are going away. The only ones with real utility are the ones that's going to be sticking around. Bitcoin as a store of value. It's the biggest, there's billions and billions of dollars in it. It ain't going nowhere. It's more of a store of value. XRP has utility. So it's going to be used in the banking industry. So that's its utility. So I think in the future, when it comes to cryptocurrency, it's not what backs it, it's what it's used for. So how they're going to be using tokenizations for real estate. They're going to tokenize everything. So that's what it's going to be backed for. What can you use it for? Because ever since we've been off the gold standard, money and shit. Like,
right. You know what? When I was in Africa, last time I was there a few years ago, they were doing a lot of Bitcoin transactions. Now, some of the African countries are just completely staying away from the U.S. dollar. Yeah. Why do you think so many people are abandoning the U.S. dollar around the world now?
Well, for one, it's like you said, it's not backed by nothing. Two, the petrodollar is done. Nobody's using our currency anymore to trade for oil. They're using other currencies like the Chinese yuan. They're using other currencies to settle these deals now. So that was the last standing leg that the U.S. dollar had. So now that we don't have that, we don't have anything. We don't have any legs to stand on as far as that. So no gold, no oil. What is this paper? It's not even worth the paper it's printed on at this point. So now that you have BRICS, if you guys don't know what BRICS is all these other nations are coming together to form a union, and they're creating their own gold-backed currency now. So now they really don't need the dollar, because now they have their own currency and it's backed by gold. So that's what I said. Get into digital assets, because the dollar's done, and a lot of people don't know a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, Gaddafi was trying to do that up there in Libya. He was going to try to unify Africa with like a gold standard, so they won't depend on the fiat dollar. And they got him up out of here. That's when they went up there.
That's why they got him up out of here. And that's the thing. They try to like demonize these people. He was just trying to liberate these people and free these people. Yes. He had no debt. He had no debt. A lot of people don't know he had no debt. And then for him to have his own currency backed by gold, they don't need the U.S. dollar. They're like, oh, we got to get him up out of here ASAP. Yeah.
And speaking of debt, Russia just relieved the debt of a lot of the African nations that were owing them now. So a lot of the Western powers are kind of panicking, like, uh-oh, what's going on with that?
Right.
So that's a good step.
Yeah, and I just did a video on that, how China is invading basically the U.S. without anybody knowing it. They're buying up over 400,000 acres of land. They're funding our public schools. Like
Yep.
they threw $20 million into the American public school system, so they can put whatever they want and teach the kids whatever they want. And then on the other side of the pond, now you have, like you said, Russia is forgiving debt. That's a power play. Like
Yes, it is.
$23 billion. That's crazy.
Right. People don't understand. China is getting a real foothold over here. That whole thing, remember with the balloons some months back when they had those balloons, those spy balloons in the Midwest? The media tried to downplay that, but those balloons were over there by nuclear warhead areas where the U.S. keeps some of their militarized weapons. They're not telling the whole thing about what happened, and they're trying to minimize that to quell fear. But that was a power move from the Chinese doing that.
Yeah, and now that's the thing. How do you take over a country? You start with the kids. So once you do that, you got a stronghold for another 50 plus, 60 plus years, because if you're funding the public school system, they're going to have a say-so on what goes in our books. And now, I don't know if you saw, China is changing the Bible. Did you see that?
I didn't see that. Wow.
China, they're making their own edits, like they're in damn Wikipedia, making their own edits to the Bible.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's what I mean. So if they're funding this, like, because again, the dollar is going down every day. So now we need a lifeline. So now we're talking to China. Hey, put $20 million into the school system. Like who does that? What are we talking about right now? That's a communist country, and you guys are taking bread from these dudes. And now that's the thing. I don't have kids right now, but when I do, like, they're gonna be homeschooled. I'm good.
Yeah.
Whole system. I might not even be here. I might get up out this joint.
Yeah, because what they're doing down in Florida, man, they're just brazenly changing the curriculum to the point where they're going to start making it seem like, well, slavery was a good thing. That's what that whole DeSantis thing is.
I saw that. That's wild. And that's what I mean, man. Like, they're rewriting history. That's why it's called his story. Like, it's his story, not ours. So when it comes to, them changing, like, oh, slavery was a good thing. Like, now that slavery is a good thing, so now we benefited from that. Okay,
right.
So run my bread then. If we benefited, run my bread then. Like, what are we talking about? Right? But yeah, this is wild, man, because it's they're doing it so blatant now. Like, they don't even care. They're just making moves. And they're just like, oh well.
Yeah, it's getting insane. It's getting insane out here. But anyway, let's do a couple more questions because I got to run to dinner in a second.
Okay.
But what else is hot? What are some? And we got a lot of folks in here. We got
a lot of people in here. We appreciate it.
Everybody in here.
Yes.
Y'all follow my brother.
Somebody's asking a few crypto questions, but let me see. What's the reason we can't get XRP in the US? You can get XRP. XRP is available on Coinbase. Oh, what was that stuff that happened with you at the casino?
Oh my God, man! The New York, man. If y'all go to Vegas, man, don't stay at the New York. So they ran a little whammy bammy on me, man. I'm up here playing the slot machines, and I hit on one of the slot machines, and it's giving me, it's ringing up all my credits. It's like ding, 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 just real loud ringing up my credits. And, I'm getting a couple of $1,000s. I'm doing the Birdman hand rub. I'm like,
right.
Oh, shit. One of the workers came and then pushed a button, like a service button, and then it stopped ringing, and then all of the money disappeared. And then she disappeared. Then I'm sitting there pushing the service button like, hey, somebody come back and let me know what's up with the money. So they came back on some Debo shit. They were like, yeah, we looked in the machine. Yeah, we don't see no wins. Ain't no wins on this machine. Really?
Wow.
Y'all doing that to your customers? So yeah, if you win on some of them machines, man, I'm telling you firsthand knowledge, they will reset the machine and act like you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I should have filmed, but some of these casinos, they have a policy against you sitting there filming. They don't want you filming. And that's why they want you filming your wins. So when they run a scam on you, they can have plausible deniability, man. So
right, they actually did that to another lady, a black lady. I forgot what city. I think it might have been Atlantic City or somewhere else. She hit for like a few million, and then they wiped it out and was like, you know what? It was a malfunction.
Malfunction. Yeah, they do that. It's a machine malfunction game on you, man. So, you know, the casinos basically are big ass banks. That's all they are. They're banks that take in a bunch of deposits and they don't have to give anything.
Right.
And them being that stingy, I only won a couple of $1,000. Yeah, it was at the New York hotel.
They can't give you that. Damn.
Yeah. But I guess it was a message to send to the employees, like, hey, the house always wins. If somebody wins, we make sure to try to sabotage that win. So y'all understand our policy in-house. So that's a real scandalous thing. And so they, that, and I like the New York hotel. I like to take my kids there, but yeah, I'm not going back there no more. I'll stay at old musty ass Circus somewhere.
Oh man, I saw that video. I was like, damn, well, they did my boy dirty. So I had to ask
him. I was pissed. I was so pissed, man. But that's what happens, man. I don't.
One more thing before you get out of here. I wanted to ask you about the whole thing. What do you think about this whole thing with the jab? I don't want to say what you call it to get with Bronny and all that stuff.
Yeah, man, we're seeing the coincidences behind that, man. All of these young people, especially a lot of these young athletic people, after they've gotten the jizzle, they're having heart attacks, seizures, heart issues, strokes. And that's not a coincidence, man. We didn't have this stuff where young people are just falling out with cardiac arrest. We haven't seen that when we were growing up younger. All of that is coming from the jizzle, man. Yeah. And we don't know what they put in that stuff. The fact that they rushed that stuff through the way they did, and also the fact that they were trying to use us as guinea pigs. I got suspicious immediately. The fact that they went to the black community talking about how much we needed. Think about, man, when do they do anything for us? When do they volunteer to help us? Yep. Whenever they volunteer to help us with anything, it's always a trick bag. These people don't give us a damn thing. Yeah. We up here fighting for reparations now. They're going out of their way to not give it to us. But they're going to flip around and say, hey, we got something better. We got a jab that we haven't tested, but we're going to let you get it first. Aren't we great? This jab is your reparations. Yeah. They were trying to talk like that for me.
They were trying to giving out hamburgers. They were giving out cheeseburgers and shit for the jab. Yeah. They were giving out fries and cheeseburgers. Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to bribe us with food.
So,
yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. And the thing is, what's crazy, because like all this stuff now, there's been a few doctors that went on record and said, hey, when you guys put this thing out a couple years from now, we're going to start to see some like detrimental like consequences. And here we are a couple years later, people are dropping dead. People are having cardiac arrest. Like Bronny James, he is a top athlete.
Yes, indeed. And the thing is, man, people are putting their lives at risk with this thing that they made mandatory for a lot of people to work. And the jab doesn't even cure what you're getting it for. You can still get the Rona.
Right.
And the way that they try to force it on people, you can't work, or you can't play ball, or you can't play sports, or you can't work in the entertainment industry unless you get the jizzle. Jamie Foxx, they forced him to get the jizzle, and he was down bad. On the show Power, Method Man and Redman. Redman's character, he was Method Man's brother in the TV series. And the new season, they had another replacement for Redman. And people asked what happened. He was like, well, they wanted me to take the jizzle. I just wouldn't do it. I don't blame them. Ice Cube, they offered Ice Cube a $9 million movie, but in order to do the film, he would have to take the jizzle. Ice Cube said, no, I'm good. Luckily, when we were filming the movie American Maroon out here, and you guys can see that at american-maroon.com, they didn't make the jabs mandatory, but we did have to do testing on set. And that was a headache within itself. We had to have a COVID person there, a medical examiner. Every time people came in for the day, they had to do a test, and we had to spend thousands of dollars on all of these COVID tests. It was a clusterflop. Right. But luckily, we didn't have to make it mandatory for people to get the jizzle on our set, because it kind of died down by then. But it's real, man. It's real. And the fact that they've forced people in certain industries to have to do that, that's a fascist type of thing.
Yeah.
To be forced to put something so deadly in your body.
Yeah, and
that's
it wasn't even legal. That's the thing. Like when they were saying like you have to go back to word, none of this stuff is in the Constitution. So by law, federal law, they don't have to do anything. And then they try to it by like certain states, like, well, no, it's mandatory. It's a state of emergency. No, actually, you have to know your rights. So you don't have to do anything they say. So it's actually a lot of people do lawsuits for that.
And I want Black people to stop believing everything that the dominant society tells you, because there were a bunch of buck dancing Sambo Negroes talking about, well, we need Dr. Fauci and said we got to do it now. I just don't want the Rona. And you bucking your eyes. You better stop believing what these people tell you. Y'all better understand this is a money grab. There's a reason why the Gates and all of these people are running. Bill Gates is not a doctor. Why is he running around?
Exactly. I tell people all that all the time, like, yo, he does software. Why is he the biggest? First of all, when it comes to him and like the medical field, you know, you're asking, you know, basically Michael Jordan about, you know, much as his baseball. Like, it's that same thing. So it's like, why are we talking to him about this? Two, he owns, you know, the most farmland in the U.S. So it's like now he's controlling the food. So these people have their own agendas. They're not worried about you and me. They have their own set of agendas.
We have to understand they've always done that. We've had these wealthy elite people who are not really in the medical field, but they control a lot of things concerning the medical field. Let's start with the Rockefellers, the Rockefeller family. They had a lot to do with the modern medical industry as we see it today. And the reason why they wanted to get into the medical industry is so that they could push the petrochemicals that they were using for the medical industry. We have to understand in the medical industry, they use a lot of things from the oil industry to make the creams, the Vaseline, that's petroleum jelly.
Right.
Certain gel tabs and all types of medicine. It comes from the oil business. So the Rockefellers and these people got a damn near monopoly on this stuff.
Right.
So the 1920s and 30s, when they were monopolizing the medical industry, there were Black people who were the ones making the most money in the United States as healers and root workers. We've been talking about this lately. Black people, we were the ones working in the gardens, in the fields, in the soil. So we knew a lot about roots and herbs. That's why people like George Washington Carver, there were millions of George Washington Carvers in the Black community. They would get the Black people who were thorough with the herbal remedies and root work and get the game from them, find out the properties they were using in the plants to heal, synthesize those things, and then mix in chemicals so they can patent the stuff. Because you can't patent a root, but if you get a root and find out the healing properties of it and then mix it with some chemicals, you can patent that. So they learned to patent the root work that we were doing and then X us out of it by saying we're not going to have herbalists or people using herbal remedies no more. All of you Black people doing that hoodoo and root work, you're going to have to get a license. And if you are practicing that without a license, you're going to go to jail. So it was a whole big finesse thing that they've been running on us to this day. You look at herbal medicine shops, they treat them like trap houses. They run up in there with the alphabet boys raiding those places. So the medical industry, man, it's run like a drug empire.
It is.
That's really what it is.
Yeah, they don't want anybody else peddling the drugs but themselves. So when it comes to that, they control everything. They see like an outsider, you know, okay, you got a license for that. That's why they demonize like voodoo and all this other stuff and witchcraft and all this other, like all that stuff came from us, and it's from a positive place. It's like just in how you use it. But when it's demonized, it's like, oh, stay away from that. Don't do that. And that's the trick bag that you always talk about. And I always talk about that on my show too. And it's always what they want you to portray, like, oh, I put this out there, they're gonna believe it because it's you know, it's me and I say so. So that's the kind of thing. It's like you don't question anything. So that's the whole thing. When it's that, like, you got to look into this stuff. Question. I say that my slogan is, I even have it on my merch at maverickapproach.com. Question everything, because why not?
Yeah.
Like this country has done us no service, and we're supposed to trust them when they put out a jab and do all this other stuff. And now they're talking about reparations for California people. Like, all that is a trick bag, and I'll tell you why. Because now the dollar is about to switch digital. It ain't gonna be worth shit. They're gonna about to give us a bunch of just worthless money or programmable money that they can control.
Yeah, that's why we want to let them know we're trying to get cash money, valuable cash money, gold, or whatever that has monetary value.
Yeah,
I don't want them to try to get, some kind of digital currency that they can just snap off at any given moment.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing with the Fed Now app. All that stuff is about to be digital. If you go to a lot of places now, I don't know if you guys have seen a lot of food places or any other places, they don't even take cash anymore. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Like the Amazon grocery store around the corner. They don't. Not only do they don't take cash, they don't even have a cashier. You don't even have to go to a cashier. You walk in, and when you take stuff off the shelf, it already clicks into your account. You can just walk out the door. They've already charged you. It's some heavy stuff, man. Out here.
Yeah, that Amazon Fresh. It's right down the street from me, actually. Now, I've been in there. I tried it out myself. The shit is crazy. So that's where we're headed. So either give me some land, some gold, some precious metals, something tangible, like you said, because if they give you guys any kind of like digital currency that they're issuing, like a CBDC or anything like that, it's programmable money. And what's going to happen is they're going to give you this money, and they're going to be like, okay, cool, here's $500,000 or $1 million, but you have to spend it in 30 days.
Yeah.
Or it shuts off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on. So yeah, make sure you guys do your research.
Yes. Y'all go to Rootwork. We got the Rootwork package at rootworkstyle.com, family. That's the new deodorant. We even, in the Rootwork package, we have a book called Mysteries of the Root. It talks about herbs and Black people who were root work practitioners, how they got the game from us. Go to rootworkstyle.com. We have an all-natural deodorant. It's phenomenal, and you guys are going to love it. We have something in there called High John the Conqueror Root. It's all natural, man. It smells phenomenal.
I need some of that.
You guys are going to, And some of y'all watching right now, some of you are musty, and you need that. You actually need it, and it's going to do you wonders with your musty ass, because we do not need to have musty ass people running around here in 2023. All right? That's a problem. We got musty women too, musty dudes and musty women.
Oh, yeah.
Some of y'all women are cute, but y'all done worked up a little funk with all that twerking. You need some root work, young ladies. Brothers, get you some of that root work, man. It's some real good stuff. You guys are going to love it. It's absolutely, and it's going to make you feel good too. It's a great thing. Rootworkstyle.com.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out. I need some of that. I'm going to need some of that for sure, because I'm all into that.
Indeed.
So.
And by the way, anybody in LA, we got an event at the Hidden History Museum. We got a comedy show and a mixer vibe happening Saturday, August 12th. Maverick, y'all need to come on down, man. Come down and kick it again.
For sure.
I'll get y'all on my desk. But y'all hit me up, man. Y'all hiddenhistorymuseum.com. If you're in LA, come on down and kick it with your boy, man. Let's have a good time. Hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Everybody follow Maverick right here. All of my listeners, if you hear, follow my brother Maverick. Has a lot of great game. This is Layla's brother.
Yes,
this is my girl Layla's brother. Yes, indeed. So,
yes, sir. Real cool. Yeah, make sure y'all go to my website. It's up now, maverickapproach.com. Get yourself some merch. Just support me. I just started this out. I went from 0 to 50,000 followers in a couple months. Crazy viral videos going on. So, I attribute a lot of it to him, inspiring me. So make sure you guys go there, and then also check out my show, Block Nation. We're on YouTube. Block Nation Tribe on YouTube. We teach financial freedom. We teach crypto. We teach everything about finances. So don't worry about the NBA draft and who got shot. This is what you need to be talking about, because everything else is a distraction, is bullshit, and we talk about some real shit. Everything that CNN and Fox News ain't gonna teach you. Yes. So definitely.
And shout out to everybody in the room. I see we got a hater. We got a tether in here. Blazing Marley. He's hating on how fly. First of all, my hair is fly. I just got my hair cut in this tether named Marley, Blazing Marley, who's hating. He's hating on how fly my hair is.
Damn, the FBA hairline, you know what I'm saying? The FBA hairline is on point.
He's mad because the FBA hairline is real, and his hairline looks like it looks like 8 up pomegranate seeds. in his
Yeah.
fucking head. He's very upset with me.
Yeah.
Don't be mad at me. Be mad at your family for giving you a janky hairline, my nigga. All right.
It look like, yes, sir. Like up here, yes, sir.
Yes,
Like, you know, the FBA hairline's popping always, you know?
yes,
so
indeed.
can't
Right,
hate, man.
Man, but anytime, man, we got to chop it up again, my brother,
for
man.
sure.
Anytime, just let me know, and we'll make it happen,
Yeah,
brother.
for
Let me
sure.
get out here. I got to go to
I'm gonna get you on the podcast for sure. We're gonna definitely chop it up. I'm gonna get you on the show for sure. So we're doing YouTube now. So I'm gonna definitely get on there with you. So we'll definitely, maybe we'll do something at the museum. That'd be dope.
That'd be real
Yeah.
fly. Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
My man.
Appreciate your
All right,
time, my
man.
brother. I know you got to go. So we'll chop it up though.
No doubt, y'all. Y'all be good, family.